It is a warm welcome to Wednesday racing after back-to-back meetings at Turpentina, which went unhindered as far as the elements are concerned. We are in KZN in Durban, in the heart of KZN, for some polytrack racing, and that polytrack meeting starts at 12:30 with the first leg of the bipod getting underway then. And of course, talking about bipods, I hope you have got your blue vouchers on hand to load up your Betway account so you can be part of the play, and it promises to be an afternoon of a good exotics. Don't forget, 50 Rand or more in value as far as a blue voucher is concerned, and you're in line to be part of that 50,000 Rand that's on offer, courtesy of our sponsors of Waited to Win, and that is Betway. All right, joining us on the Betway show today, it is, of course, Mr. Gary John. We are in KZN, and he has got a decent set of selections. A week ago, Gary John, it was a card that, to be quite honest, I think everybody would agree it was a card that was very bare, no quality, but this card is quite the opposite. Good morning.
Morning, Cecil, and morning to all the punters out there. Yes, today's card looks a little bit more easier, but also there's quite a lot of tricky legs, but maybe we can pick out a few races and find the winners.
All right, so now let's get straight to it. I had a bit of a long intro there. Get into your bipod, Mr. Gary John. We've got an odds-on favorite who comes out of a decent form line, which was recently franked again by blowing in the wind, winning one of the races on Sunday on the turf at Hollywood Bets Greyville.
Yes, Cecil, this race here, it does look very hard to beat the one, Princess Goldie. Just knowing blowing in the wind came out to win twice after that run behind Hot Lava. I do feel this is the right horse. And also going back to its first run to Kawari Rose, we saw that form line franked as well, with Kawari Rose coming out to win and green light all the way. This looks very hard to look past in my eyes. My second selection will be Chak Pori. It does have a few of the runners held, like Head Girl and Lights in the Darkness. In this race, I see the race won by 7, and my third selection would be number 8.
Light in the Dark, that is the story 1 and 7, and it's a total outlay of 324 Rand. 12:30 is the start of our 8-race program at Hollywood Bets Greyville in Durban. Okay, so we're getting into that first leg of the PA race number 2, our first handicap of the afternoon, and hopefully you have loaded up your blue voucher. If not, get to your local convenience store. We're off with race number 2 at 1:05. It is a Fillies and Mares 80. We've lost number 6, Vernie Princess, and don't forget 50 Rand or more as far as the value of that blue voucher is concerned, and you're in line to be part of the grand prize of 50,000 Rand. So that's the blue voucher. We need that blue voucher to get involved. And of course, a week from now, that final field for the Betway Summer Cup 2024 will be announced. The barrier draw, that is, the log has been updated. Right, Gary John, race number 3. We've got 2, rather. We've got 3 co-favorites. They are the 1, 3, and 5 War Empress, Sweet Julia, and Jane's Vision, all at 3-1. I see 3 Sweet Julia has found a bit of anti-post support. Where are your loyalties in race number 2?
Cecil, in my PA and bar pots, I've got numbers 1 and 7, War Empress and Great Fantasy. My first choice here will be Great Fantasy. Just going back to the run to Rugger Lover, Jane's Fantasy and War Empress and Great Fantasy all met that day, and Great Fantasy did have the measure of them, but there wasn't much in it on that day. I really feel this horse is going to love the polytrack Great Fantasy, especially with the 1,000 meters. I see they put the tongue tie on. I really like this horse. It's my first choice. I'm definitely going to have a small nibble. And my clear danger will be number 1, War Empress. Also super consistent. It's versatile, runs poly and grass. It's got the plum draw. And I'm sure Chase had the choice between the 1 and the 2. So I see the danger as number 1. And my third selection would be Jane's Vision. It won a good race last time on the poly. You just have to respect it. So I see the race in that order, 7, 1, 5.
Thank you, Gary John. Again, an identical outlay as the bipod of 324 Rand, and identical numbers in that first leg of the PA, which happens to be the second leg of the bipod, 1 and 7. Right, we get into our third big exotic of the afternoon at Greyville. We are racing on the potty, and that third big exotic is race number three's pick six commencement, and that is off at 13:40. Of course, you can invest. The smallish fields, but this is a counter point where you have a choice of either making a statement or trying to incorporate all the likely winners. Right, don't forget that blue voucher will come in handy if you are still in need of funds to invest in that pick six. And of course, there is that carrot of being likely to be selected as one of the winners of that 50,000 Rand. That's an offer courtesy of our sponsors, Betway. Right, let's get into this maiden plate. Gary John, a very important scratching overnight was at 9 to 10, and that is Frank Robinson, the star of the future. That elevates the four. Give me the good life as your favorite, and that is Gareth Van Sale and Marco van Rensburg, and that is looking for that maiden win at the seventh time of asking. But you are not in the corner of Give Me the Good Life. Tell us more as to where you think the winner will come from.
Cecil, over here, I like a horse called Lukayev. I see a lot of value in this horse. Just going back to its form over the 1,000 meters, at first run, it was 14 lengths behind. Its second run over the 1,200 meters went 22 lengths behind. And then when it went over the 1,400 at Scottsville, coming off a rest from draw 11, it ran a very good race to Red Mountain, 3.9 lengths. And just looking at the horses that were in that field that day against Red Mountain, I mean, it beat the likes of Actor that day that was in there, and Artist Model, two really nice sorts. So if you go on that run, this horse is priced up completely wrong in this field. If it repeats that run, I find it very hard to beat, in my opinion. If not, it should definitely be in the top three in my eyes. And I'm willing to ignore its last two runs, and I see they put it back up now to the 1,600. I'm expecting the improvement, any improvement at all. I think this horse will run a big race. I do see the clear danger as the four, Give Me the Good Life. Also, once again, this horse is going to love the step up in trip. I think it's the horse to beat. But I'm strong in the camp of Lukayev. I know it's been putting up some really good work. Let's hope it can bring its work to the racetrack today.
All right, a win bet, 100 Rand outlay, and right now, Lukayev, after the adjustments due to that scratching of the odds-on favorite, is now at 22 to 1. And of course, we will be singing his praises through into the early hours of the morning if Lukayev should confirm his confidence. All right, so we continue with our exotics. We're now into our first of two jackpots. That starts at 14:15 at Greyville this afternoon. We're on the potty, and that is over a distance of 1,700 meters. 7 Burning Man, insufficient recovery time as the scratching leaves us a field of 7 runners. Burning Man was a runner on the turf on a Sunday. All right, so this is now a race that sees Mr. Hot Stepper, after that impressive victory, come back to the races. It was a victory over the potty. A distance was 1,400 meters. And finally, your McDazzler came out to win following that run behind Mr. Hot Stepper. Had been second at 1.30 lengths behind. And also coming out to win was the Platinum-owned Pleased to See You, who was the third, 1.90 lengths behind. Mr. Hot Stepper, upwardly mobile, or do you try and stop it in its tracks? Gary John.
Cecil, once again, very hard to look past Mr. Hot Stepper. I do feel the step up in trip's going to suit it even more. And obviously, you can't really fault its last run with McDazzler and Pleased to See You both winning well after that. I do feel that it wasn't the strongest field that it did run in. I do know the two direct winners are out of there. But I don't know what to make of it right now in its career. I've got 3 horses here, 1, 6, and 8. Just speaking on Lucretius, I was very disappointed in its last run. I really liked it last time. I do know they're dropping back to the 1,700. This horse can run on the poly and the grass. It is versatile. I do have it give it a big chance. If it repeats its last victory, the run there, it will be right up there today. And then you can't fault Wave Warriors form. Ultra consistent, knocking at the door. I think it's also once again met the right field. I make it hard to separate 1, 6, and 8. Maybe that's the trifecta boxed, but I don't see much in it with those 3 horses.
All right, as I mentioned, 168 in that first leg of the first jackpot, and he's just got the two horses in race 7, the last leg of jackpot. 108 Rand is the outlay, and a reminder of the off time, 2:15. Right into the second half of an 8-race program coming through from KZN. We're in the heart of Durban at Hollywood Bets Greyville. It is the Fillies the Mares 77, 1900 meters a trip and a field of a 9 to face up, and a very, very closely matched is race number 5. Now, just having a look at the betting, Kissotten has to be up at the top there. Well, it is Way to Burn, who's actually been backed in further from 28 to 10 overnight to 11 to 4. Kissotten easy to back now at 7 to 2, 7 to 2, number 7. Green Valkyrie is 11 to 2 and a better bar. Those 11 to 2, of course, being Escapologist. Escapologist on the poly, 2 runs just for that 1/4. But if it was the turf, I'm sure a different story. Ultra consistent for the Mark Dixon stable. Which way are you leaning? Way to Burn? Are you in the corner of Way to Burn, or there's a bit of value?
Cecil, in this race here, my first choice has to be Green Valkyrie. It's had 4 runs on the poly track. It's never been out the top 2 for 1 win and the rest seconds. This horse is also, once again, ultra consistent. I do feel it will reverse the form line today on Kissotten. There's a kilo swing in its favour. This is my PA banker. I think it will definitely be in the top 3 in my eyes, just going on the stat that it's never been out the top 2 on the poly. And once again, yeah, just speaking on Escapologist, if this was the turf, I would have definitely had a bet on this horse. Obviously, being on the poly, I've got a question mark to it, but its turf form is definitely the best in this race. And then, yeah, just speaking on Way to Burn, I don't really like it today. I see like there's a few horses that haven't held on collateral form here. And yes, if you're looking for any not Ruffy to another horse to add in, it would be Doctor's Orders. Also done nothing wrong on the poly, coming off 2 victories off the poly, so it's going for 3 in a row on the poly track. But my first choice here has to be Green Valkyrie. My second choice, Kissotten. And for third, I make it very open.
Okay, 7 from 1. And then it is the rest of the field likely for that third and a fourth. Scratched as a 6, Grape shot, also a runner on Sunday on the turf at Greyville. Outlay of jackpot 2, 72 Rand. Okay, so we now go to the Addison Wright Stakes. That is the race number 6. I say that tongue-in-cheek, of course, but we have a very strong hand for the leading trainer, and that is Mrs. Addison Wright. She's got the favourite, Valdemort. Easy to back at 72. And I see my colleague in computer form has made it the best bet on the card. And then as far as the rest, and the 5 Master of Destiny, Stuart Ferry's charge, that is at 15 to 4. Number 9, Savantrix, is at 15 to 4. One Night Warrior, 5 to 1. 8 Buggerlugs, the 11 to 2 has been shortened into 5 to 1, and then another Addison Wright charge, 15 to 2. That is the 4 Ibuto, 19 to 2. Stable companion number 3, Winter Waves. All right, so it's Voldemort at the top of your ticket, Mr. Gary John, or are you looking at the younger horses like Buggerlugs?
So I made this a boat race between Voldemort and Winter Waves, the 2 stable companions. Both these horses have really nice poly form in my eyes. Just speaking on Master of Destiny, I have added it into my exacta box. I've got a big question mark for the poly track. I do know its turf form is very strong compared to this budge. That's why I've added it in. But like I said, I definitely feel it's a better turf horse than poly horse. Just going back to Winter Waves, I see a lot of value in this horse. I do know Voldemort hasn't held, but this horse is 10 to 1 and 19 to 10 a place. I think it's going to be right on top of them today over the 1400 with a decent draw. And yes, just like Voldemort does have it held, but I'm expecting for that form line to be reversed today. I don't see much in it with 2 and 3, but I think an exacta box here, 2, 3, and 5 for 6 Rand should do the job.
Thank you very much, Gary John. Merit rated 80, handicap is at 15 at 23, the off time, and it'll be a last chance to get involved in a pick 3 at Greyville. Ameritrader 94 will be the headliner this afternoon at Hollywood Bets Grayville, where we're racing on the Poly. It is over the 1,200 meters. Now, since relocating to KZN, has impressed all and sundry, has Connery in the colors of Mr. Robert Bloomberg, and that is going for 3 on the trot. First win was at the stiff Scottsville Straight, and then it was on to the Poly. Now goes over the 1,200 meters and will meet some hard knockers, namely the likes of Mr. Master Starter and a stable companion, William Rufus, the 8. I think it is going to be the acid tester for the relocated Sean Connery. That is Connery, of course, now trained by, well, always trained by Glenn Cotson. How do you see the race, Gary John? 1,200 within the grasp? I mean, I see it has run over the likes of 14 and 1,200 whilst still in the maiden ranks.
Yes, Cecil. Over here, I made it between 1 and 6. My first selection will have to be Common Grounds. Just going, it's 1 from 1 on the Poly. When it did run on the Poly, it came off a rest and beat a nice sort Ross Kodesh by 3.3 lengths. I was very impressed the way it won. And then also going back to its run to Teflon Man, it was just behind King of the Gauls that day. And to me, I found this form line a lot superior to this bunch. I think it's course and distance suited. It has the claim of Rachel with 1.5 on, a nice draw of 6. And just speaking of my clear dangers, Connery. My only question mark with Connery is the 1,200 meters. But since it's come to Durban, it's done nothing wrong. It's going for 4 in a row. Last time it did win quite well with the Appy on it. I'm just scared it is up in class today, and it might have a lot to do today against this bunch. Like I said, I have to stick with my Ganja with Common Grounds, but my clear second choice will be Connery.
Yeah, that is the selection from Mr. Gary John. And Common Grounds, easy to back. 5-1 has been shortened in to 7-2. Wonder if it is Gary John's money that has seen that shortening. Race 7, last chance to get involved in a double, is off at 4 o'clock. Okay, so Gary John, I had a liking for the scratched horse in race number 8. I know this off air, and that is number 4, Trade War. And by the way, talking of scratchings, recently just come through Mr. Henley in race number 7. That is now a scratch, and that is the 5 from the stable of Tony Riverland. Right, let's get to race number 8. And here we're left with a field of 9, and again, a draw is the enemy of Lulu the Legend. Let's see where is Lulu the Legend in that betting. And Gary John, we've got Hollywood certainly strong in terms of volume of runners here. They've got 1, 2, and the aforementioned number 10, Lulu the Legend. Where are your loyalties, Stevie G? Guess you're a bit of a Liverpool fan. Calvin Abib is in the irons. Has ridden it before with not much success, but is doing well with Wendy Whitehead.
Yes, Cecil. My first choice here, clear first choice is Stevie G. I'm going to have a small nibble on it. I really liked its last run to Brass Bell that day. It was over the 1,400. It looked like it was going to win the race. Now dropping back to the 1,200 with a good draw. Last time it was drawn quite wide in that field. I also feel that it's got a lot of horses held on collateral form, and a lot of things are pointing to it. I see my dangers as Mac Hardy and Daring Act. I really like the way Daring Act improved last time, the run to Future Flow. It was a good run. And going back to its previous runs to Love in Winter, I think was also a great run there. And then just speaking on the Hollywood horses, number 2, Purple Powerhouse. It's the form line is there, but one thing that does put me off is that it hasn't won in 1,003 days, which is a big concern in my eyes. And I do see Daring Act does have it held. But out of the Hollywood horses, I'd probably lean slightly towards number 10, Lulu the Legend, if there was one to win it out of the 3. But I'm strong in the Kempshire with Stevie G. I think today is the day. And my second choice will be Daring Act, and my third choice, Mac Hardy.
All right, staying with the football theme, a break a leg, Gary John, as we see his last selection, that is the 3, Stevie G.